Howdy there, nerds. Hope you're having a good day. And, well, today we're going to talk about something a little bit weird. And I know, based on the title, people might be going, what are you talking about? Well, we need to talk about weapons, because every update, usually every month, it seems we're getting an update on new weapons and new refinements. And I wanted to ask you guys, and since we're doing this, I figured, hey, why not? We hit 90,000 subscribers, so this is going to be a fun little one where you guys can join in and basically just answer the question on which characters you would like to see get new weapons or new refinements as well. And, of course, we have a $15 gift card just to give away. Why not? All you have to do is answer the question, put in your region and operating system, and I will pick a winner out tomorrow. This is one time only. I'm sorry, but I just wanted to do it real quick because why not? It's a fun little thing. Not the biggest celebration I was hoping for, but, you know, either way. Anyways, hope you guys are doing well. So let's just talk about this real quick. So I'm fairly sure I'm going to see a lot of these answers when it comes down to it, but I'm going to go through the characters that I've picked out that I think need to have, you know, newer weapons or at least refinements in some way. So the first one, obviously, is going to be the easiest that you can possibly think of. Corrin is the one unit that I'm sure everyone can probably agree either is A, going to get a newer version of himself that will eventually have Omega Yato, that will eventually be able to, you know, have normal Corrin transform his sword into Omega Yato. But until that day arrives, I'm sure a lot of you are hoping and praying that he will eventually get his refinement. Granted, though, Yato has a pretty nice effect normally, but I'm sure that we could probably get this to go even further beyond as it is right now, because we could go anything from, hey, look, more speed, to, hey, look, now it's, you know, Swift Sparrow, or an additional investment. And I know a lot of you have been eagerly hoping and praying that he will get his, enhancement, his refinement. He's an obvious choice. Probably one of the only legendary weapons, or at least exclusive weapons that I could think of that hasn't been touched yet. I'm sure there's a few others out there, but that's just my opinion on the thing. Of course, I really think he's going to get a refinement next, because honestly, he's our boy Corrin, and we really need to have him a little bit more amped up as time goes on. Don't you agree? I think so. Anyways, from there are a few other characters that I know people are going to talk about. Anna's the one that I haven't really touched too much, but I'm going to use her as a good representation, because the Asker trio, the normal ones, not the bunnies, of course, they have been in the game since since launch, and they have their own, legendary weapons as well. The only problem, though, is that almost all of their effects are from a bygone era that just doesn't really resonate much anymore. Certain things like Nautun, with its ability to teleport, things like that, not very useful in today's day and age, especially since, as it stands right now, these characters, especially the Asker trio, they're kind of stuck in that one spot where they're useful, they can do really well, but they lack a few things. Merges, of course, and of course their weapons are kind of a little bit eh. I think a refinement is either A, in due course, or possibly something else for them entirely, because they're specialty units. They're ones that you can't get anywhere else. You get them once, and I'm sure that eventually we'll probably get some sort of restructuring for them. But that's just what I think. Anna needs one, Alphonse needs one, Sharina needs one. Some of them, especially Alphonse. But that's just what I've been looking at, and that's the other weapon that I saw a lot of people requesting on Twitter when I talked about it earlier, was weapons. What do you think would happen? Blah-de-blah-de-blah, things like that. So, we also have, of course, Marissa. So, I was kind of disappointed that they just gave her a Wodao when she came out. Not that that's a bad thing. Marissa's pretty good stat-wise. I'm not using my fully leveled one. Oh, jeez. Okay, well... Either way, I feel it's kind of a bad practice. Maybe they should have gone with something like Shamasier, which is the weapon that she actually wields, but it's so close to Wodao, I guess it can technically be classified as the same thing. But I still think that maybe sometime further down the road, we'll probably get Shamasier, and we'll probably get that weapon variation for her, I hope, because, she was a fun character to use, at least in her game, so, maybe one day in the future. Of course, I'm also going to talk about Henry because I still feel this is my 40 plus 10 Henry. Look at that, rousing 38 attack, guys. Still though, as a unit, I feel him and another character that we're going to be talking about do need something to at least try to save them from their little world that they're in here, because Henry, among others, kind of got a little bit shafted when it came to certain abilities, and especially when it came to stat pool. And I could definitely see him and the other character that we're going to be talking about over here, of course. We're just going to pop over here. I don't actually have him as a, 5-star maxed out unit, but Odin. Poor Odin. He kind of got... He has the same sort of problem. His ability, stat-wise, is very much unfortunate. And to give you an example of why that is so bad, it gives you an idea. I've been using him for Moonbow, mostly. That's pretty much what I've been using. I mean, Defiant Attack is cool, I guess, and Red Tonebreaker is neat for...
Odin will always do his darkest to assist you.
Thank you, Odin. But when it comes to certain abilities, like, Blarblade and all that fun stuff, he's kind of been outranked even now by Taltio. So I'm expecting that maybe one day he'll get a weapon. Maybe one day in the future, far, far into the future. As for me, though, I kind of want Bartray. I want Bartray, to actually get a weapon, because, his daughter got a weapon, and I really feel that it would be kind of funny and really fun to see, a daddy-daughter kind of thing going on, because, of course, you could make a team out of that. And I've noticed that a lot more lately when it comes to weapons. We've been getting a lot of swords that have been getting enhancements and things like that. A lot of units like that. I think we should, turn our attention to axes a lot more as we go along, because obviously I think our good friend here could use a mustache comb as a weapon, and that way he can go in there and destroy other people. And when he actually shows up, people won't be upset about getting him, because he's still a pretty fun unit, honestly. Hammer's not the weapon I would give him, but, obviously, that's just one thing. I'm still contemplating getting him up there and pairing him up with Fear, because I just feel that would be fun and hilarious, and I'm sure someone probably will. Now, the next two I'm going to talk about are just personal things for me. I honestly expect Camilla to eventually get her own, and this is actually the Camilla that I'm probably going to take to 5 stars plus 10. So if you guys want to just look over her IVs, feel free to. I'm going to be streaming her when we do this, streaming this probably on Twitch, and you guys just come hang out and chat with me. But the idea here is, I'm not so sure what we can do here. Camilla technically has an axe that's labeled her name afterwards. In fact... I guess we're going to have to talk about that, because in Japanese, it's literally called Camilla's Sexy Axe, and yes, that's the name of it. But in English, of course, it was changed to just Camilla's Axe, and I honestly expect them to be doing that as time goes on, and it was an axe that can only be wielded by female characters, and I mean, we got Hinoka's lance, whatever you want to call it, spear. I honestly expect a lot of these units that were originally from, launch to get some really beefy weapons eventually. Also, to talk about Odin real quick, just, I know a lot of you will probably be like, well, why can't they just give him, the tome his daughter has? And I'm like, well, I mean, that's a possibility, but I feel like maybe that would be a bit of a shutout for Ophelia. I don't know. But that's just me. I'm sure they could probably work that, or we could just get a Wayne eventually in the future. And finally, for me at least, I would love to see Baruka get her own weapon. Not to say that, Baruka's a really tanky monster. And she actually has her own axe in the game too, at least in Fates. Then again, a lot of people had their own named weapons that you kinda got, but it was simply a reskin of an iron axe in a sense, but it allowed her to do, deal more damage with critical hits, and, it was okay, I guess, but it could probably work very well as an actual weapon in the game myself. That's what I think. But honestly, there are so many characters that were launched with the launch of this game, of course, that have fallen by the wayside in a lot of ways. Not to say that they're bad. Again, guys, whenever you make a character and you put a lot of effort into them, I mean, just to give you an example, my Fear was a really good example, of something you can do. I'm still working on getting her back up to where she was before, but she worked out really well, and I'm still really, really happy about that. And after Leaf destroyed me, doing the summoner support, I'm probably gonna go grind this with, all that fun stuff going on. But as I've said before, you can always make something great out of them, and it really does help when IS gives older units a new way of working, a new way of going about it. I really want to get Marth up there as well. God, I wish I had more Divine Dew, because he's such a great buffer. But there's so many options, so many characters that were just, put on the wayside. I'm sure a lot of you are like, Asker Trio, Corrin, but what character do you want to see? What character do you want to see get new weapon refinements and everything out there under the sun? I would love to hear it. Just put it in the comments below, and I hope you have a great day, because I'm heading out for now, guys. I'll catch you all on the flip side. See you soon! Bye!